Which homegirls got their podcast out here, Mr. Lee?
Antisocialites. Antisocialites, that's one.
What's up, what's up? It's the Antisocialites, and I'm your girl, Just Feet.
And it's your girl, Vina 9.
And we here with our controversial topic episode.
Yeah. Things that really just grind your gears, you know? I mean, you just told me something that I didn't even know about, and I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of a little confused. I don't know how to feel about. I normally don't know how to feel about certain topics.
Yeah, let me pull up the actual tweet so I could be a little bit more on point with it. But today, y'all president, in the words of Angela Rye, because he's not our president.
Oh, so you co-signing that?
Yeah, I'm with her on that one.
Y'all so light skinned.
So Donald Trump tweeted like he always does, because that's how he communicates, whatever. So he put, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you.
But do you know how much it costs to keep your family where we keep your family? Or kept your family? Like,
I feel like he doesn't even consider that. He just like, well, that's just comes with the territory, so.
Millions of dollars to just secure them.
Oh, yeah. So two things that I took from that. When I first read it, I felt like he used, first of all, transgender is already a controversial topic because most people, including myself, don't really understand it all. But I know that they're people too, and everybody has different journeys. But one thing that I did take from this was he used the cost of healthcare as kind of like a reason why,
right?
In a way. So everybody knows that if you work for the government, you have great healthcare. Same goes for military. TRICARE is the coverage, and I've had it before. I've been very privileged to have TRICARE coverage when I was a child, and it's amazing. Like, you need to go to the emergency room, boom, you're not waiting in lines, you being seen, the deductibles are really low. It's damn near free. I feel like it comes, I don't know how, because my dad paid for it, but it's just amazing healthcare. So I felt like he used that as a reason to kind of camouflage the reason why he's against it. And then the second thing he used was the disruption that transgender causes. So how do you feel about transgender causing disruption in the military?
I mean, I'm not even familiar with it to speak on it, to say that it causes or does not cause disruption. It would be the same thing to say it causes disruption in the NFL or any type of sports or any leagues. But the thing is, transgender people are here. I mean, they've been around for some time now. You're gonna have to accept it because it's something that's growing. I don't think it's a bad thing or a good thing. I don't know how much disruption it causes. People have been, I guess I want to say, well, transgenders, all of them aren't even gay. Some people just identify with the other sex. So it's like, what disruption is it really causing?
I think the disruption he's referring to is the unknown, like people whose morals or religious beliefs don't allow them to accept it. Because if you think about it, just recently did the military banish that don't ask, don't tell policy, where it was more, or I don't know if they banished it, but I know there was a don't ask, don't tell policy. I think Obama came in and was like, nah, the military is going to accept gays and lesbians, because what does that matter that they're gay or lesbian that they can't serve?
And that's my thing. Like, even with, if it affects your religion, we live in a place where you have the right to choose whatever religion you want to. Mm-hmm. So if it affects your religion anyway, then that's something you just choose not to deal with that person. But you can't make that something that defines what your job or how you work. Like, if you're in the military and you're here to serve the Army of the United States of America, you're serving a country that allows you free will and free reign to do what it is that you want to do, as long as it's under the law, then you can't really be upset with that. Like, I don't know. That's your own personal issue.
So you said if your religion may cause you to not deal with it, and that's your choice, but do you think that would affect someone that does serve and say, well, because I'm Catholic or whatever, I don't have to deal with that person? So would that cause disruption by saying, I'm not dealing with him because he used to be a girl and now he's a man, and my religious beliefs won't allow me to work with him?
I feel like every religion is pretty much says the same thing, that you treat people as you would like to be treated.
Yes.
And I also feel like every religion is, even though it has a stipulation, you can't harm or, you know, like, so you still have to do your job. I feel like you don't have to choose to interact with that person outside of work. But if your job is to serve and you guys have to work on a project together, that just comes with being a fucking grown up. You know,
Right, I agree.
If I work around somebody that I'm not used to working around, whether it be a different race or a different gender or whatever the case may be, if I have to do my job, that has to do with me. Like, it has nothing to do with that person. If I have to work with that or talk to or speak to that person while doing the job, then I speak to that person and I go about my business.
Yeah.
But I think that's just your own personal issue that you're using religion as a scapegoat to not perform.
Right. And so with him saying he, you know, went through the advisors, they're using disruption and healthcare costs. My problem.
Healthcare costs, I understand, just because, like, right now I'm not, you know, working with anybody, so I have to pay for my own bills.
Right.
And if they have better healthcare coverage than we do, like,
Well, they do. And the thing is that
and TRICARE is with the Navy or
the whole military.
The whole
branch,
military.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
But it's not specific to transgender people.
No. TRICARE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
You're right. I was confused because
No,
I had regular insurance.
Right, TRICARE is what it's called. TRICARE is the, like, just like you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, like TRICARE is of the military.
Oh, okay. And
so with transgender, you know, I'm not familiar with if it covers their transition, because, you know, you need hormones, you need injections. If you get a full blown, I'm at a loss of words, but say you're trying to transition from a man to a woman, you want to cut off the body parts and become a complete woman. I don't know if that's covered, but I'm assuming that it probably is. It does fall under, and that's the one part that I'm like, okay, I can see their angle a little bit.
But it's so many things that women can't get covered for under healthcare.
Birth control.
Some people do.
Well,
I know Aetna does.
Yeah, but that's because Obama made it to where insurance cannot discriminate against women that, like, contraceptives, like, that has to come. See, that's where I feel like government sometimes does need a part at hand in certain things like insurance, because if it was up to insurance, they'd be like, no, we don't have to cover that. You need to pay out of pocket.
Right.
That's why Planned Parenthood was so important, because women couldn't afford $20, $40 a month on birth control, but I should be able to fully protect myself from getting pregnant. You guys give men, what is that? The Viagra? That's covered.
Really?
By health insurance.
Well, because remember, under religion, I believe we are here to procreate.
Exactly.
So I think everybody, and that's why people are not pro-choice, because the fact that you are given the option or given the choice to terminate a pregnancy stops from, you know, growth population.
Yeah, but then y'all want to cut all these programs that help kids all these single mothers, all these low income families, y'all want to cut the funding, but you don't want them to have an abortion.
Right.
So that's where
I feel like we're just gonna leave it there.
Right. So I just
that's
feel
something
like,
y'all think about.
You know, Donald Trump needs to find a new way to communicate to the masses what he's doing, because that tweet was irresponsible to me.
There should have been a memorandum, some type of something. Well, I mean, we don't have the press secretary.
We do.
Oh,
he's no. I think his name. Last name Scaramucci.
Phone's been off for a day.
Yeah,
but then like Scaramucci. Where did he?
Scaramucci. It's crazy because he's people. You know, the internet won't ever let you win. They dug up old footage of him on Fox News talking hella shit about Donald Trump. He was like, yo, your rhetoric, because he's Italian, so, you know, he's already, like, you know, with it. He's like, your rhetoric is divisive. Like, come at me. Like, he didn't never like Trump, so now you working for the man.
Wow. So that lets us further know America's just about the dollar and the look. And I don't know where we're going to go from here. But let's transition to something easier on, like a little...
A little lighter?
A little bit lighter,
yeah.
Yes. Lighter is definitely the right word. Do you want to talk about Miami controversy or?
Let's get to it, yeah.
Okay. As a Philly native, I am...
That doesn't claim Meek Mill.
No. I said I do not claim some of the things that he does. I'm from Philly. Whatever Meek Mill does from Philly, whatever Beanie Siegel, Will Smith, Eve, Bill Cosby, whatever somebody from Philly does.
Oh, he from Philly?
Who?
Bill Cosby?
Yes, he's
I didn't
from
know
Philly.
that. This whole time.
Pay the Bell, Jill Scott, whatever these people do, Music Soul Child, it falls on a person from Philly. When O'Malley did that interview with Sway and he thought he was freestyling, I got donkey of the day through a group text with my friends. Not nobody else because I'm from Philadelphia. With that being said, Meek Mill says things sometimes that I don't always agree with. If it's between Philly and another city, I'm going to rep Philly. I live in Miami. If you did not listen to the full interview, then you didn't totally understand the message. I don't agree with Trick Daddy voicing his opinion. Like, he can voice his opinion, but what he said and how he said it and the stir up that he caused was unnecessary. Meek Mill is not claiming to be the first one to ever, rent a boat and put people on or show them the Miami life. Diddy's done it. Wayne's done it. Jay-Z's done it. Everybody comes to Miami, French Montana, whoever you want to think of has rented a boat, jet skis, and lived the life. His thing is, in the recent months, there's been a couple boat parties that they put together, jet ski parties, where people that didn't used to have access now have access to these events. Aside from that, if you're from Philly and if you know anything about Philly right now, there's a lot of young guys that pop pills all day and shoot each other, and that's not the whole Philadelphia, but the inner city and most of the neighborhoods, that's what's happening. So he's saying that they don't want to talk about guns no more. They don't want to talk about, they want to talk about coming out here, spending money, renting a boat, living a life, getting on some jet skis. And what he said after he said that was, it's kind of foolish and irresponsible to do, but they're not talking about toting guns or, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it has shifted into trying to get some money, whether it's on something reckless or foolish. They're now not having the same conversation of ignorance and, well, it's still ignorant in my case, but not violence, if that's the case. Mm-hmm. So when I saw Trick Daddy's post, I was kind of upset because it's like, why are you using this? Like, I was more upset when Khaled put out a record that didn't have no Florida. That's disrespect. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if he for the people, not for the people, he for the culture. He did this for Miami, so what? There was no Miami artist. There was no follow-up. There was no remix. There was nothing. Y'all let him come down and use it. Drake on Luke's record kind of low-key tried Uncle Luke. Nobody said anything. Wayne, Diddy, they talk about Miami as if this is their city all the time and nobody says anything. And Meek Mill said also in the interview that he is a scapegoat and he'll beat a punching bag because people seem to think that he's an easy target. My point exactly. For people that did not watch the interview, all this makes sense. And I was just disappointed because he's actually talking about growth and like being mature in this whole interview, and that was pulled from it, and it kind of pissed me off.
No, I understand where you would be upset about that, or anybody, because I feel like Trick was super aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, and two, I also see, okay, he's about to be on Love and Hip Hop Miami.
Right.
You already know he got to build up some momentum around his brand to come back out, because really everybody outside of Miami don't really know nothing about Trick right now because he's not putting out music consistently. Slip and Slide not really like out there consistently and all that. My problem with, not problem, I don't have a problem with anybody, but I watched Meek do interviews and the recent interviews he's done, and I feel like he has an issue communicating what he really means sometimes, because when I watch his facial expressions and when I watch or listen to what he's saying, he comes across to me disingenuous. Not so much arrogant, kind of like you're not really genuine with how you're saying stuff. Like, you could say something and not think twice about it, okay, and then come back and be like, well, I didn't mean it like that. But like, I can't really read him sometimes. He comes across like he don't care, or like, that's just what I said. Like, and I'm trying to like him more as a person, because music, you put out a hot song, I'm gonna rock with it or whatever. I'm not gonna probably ever buy a Meek Mill album just because I've never been a fan, a huge fan from the beginning. But he does have some bangers out. I respect him as an artist. But interview wise, I just be like, he don't come across as a genuine person sometimes.
When I watch interviews, a lot of people, some people do, some people don't. With Meek, there is a style of swag. Kevin Hart is different, another person from Philly that we love, that I co-sign all day. Here's the thing. Meek got something to prove. So that thing is like a
you feel like he still has a wall up.
It's a little bit of chip on his shoulder, because, and I'm not mad at it, only because he is a punchback. If Meek does anything, Meek put out the video of him falling at his mama's house.
That shit was funny.
It was funny, and he thought it was funny, and he could laugh at himself, yet it was turned into a big thing on social media as a L. So yeah, he kind of
keeps taking L.
Yeah, so you gotta understand, like, he just went through a high profile relationship that ended, where everybody's taking shots at each other. He's been input in another dispute with the person that he was with, and then like. So I see the chip on the shoulder, but I also see that he is trying to mature and he is trying to grow. I'm not taking up for him. I was very proud of that interview. There was some things I'm just like, humble yourself a little bit, but at the same time, I get it.
Well, I feel like he has no choice but to grow up. Like, honestly, like, at this point in the game, especially if you're going to be surrounded by Rick Ross has displayed growth and maturity as far as, like, business-wise, models, concepts, all of that. So I feel like he has no choice but to mature. What I'm saying is, I think it wouldn't hurt him to be, like, if you gonna say something, just fucking say it. Like, stand behind it. And when I'm watching him, it just seems like, if I was interviewing him, I'd be like, okay, like, I watched the Angie Martinez interview. I watched, you know, the Hot 97.
I watched the Ebro. I didn't watch all of it.
And I'm just like, does he mean that? Does he really, like, not saying it's shock value, not saying like, oh, he's saying to get a rise out of him. Like, he probably said because he does, but like his face is just like, it's just whatever.
And that's
and I'm just like, dude.
Some people are blank though.
Yeah, but like, and two, you know, I know he's a Taurus, and you know, I know like we don't like to be perceived as something that we're not. So like we always want people to like get us, but then too, like if you don't, we're kind of stubborn. Like, well, fuck it, like whatever.
And I feel like that's the attitude. Like,
so I try to understand it from that point too.
Like that's why I say he could be a little bit more humble, and I feel like it's like not entitled, but it's a thing where it's just like, yo, I mean, they
but it's
like
he has so much energy behind his lyrics and his rap style that I would expect a little bit more in an interview, just me personally.
But I mean, then you got artists like Migos who give you nothing.
Oh, but I know that, and I'll talk shit like they don't. Like, the shit be boring all the time.
So, and then there's people that think they're, you know, being humble or cool, whatever, and they're not.
Right.
You know, and the Philly swag or the persona is to always be cool. Like, and I just listened to Jay-Z's Footnotes, and I was gonna tweet it or whatever, but being cool is hard work.
Yeah, I mean,
and it has something to do with ego. They were breaking down Kill Jay-Z,
okay,
and it's killing the ego, and that's something that he is definitely working on, because he was able to open up and say, you know, what he was saying. His message has still been the same since I interviewed right when he met Nick. Like, he want to inspire, and I don't think he knows how to actually. I think he's going through a process of how he can truly inspire without looking crazy. Because like he said, where we come from, there is a nigga on the corner, probably 34 almost, or between 34 and 42, that's been working on the corner, and there's 17 little corner boys that look up to him. He has nothing to show for it, but for some reason, this is what you're supposed to have. This is what you're supposed to do. And in Philly, and probably other like cities or rural areas, they look up to that person on the corner that has nothing to show for it, that hasn't acquired anything, that has no properties, no car, but you still like hustling to be like this person. And he's realizing that maybe this is something that I probably shouldn't be promoting, or those symbols that Dr. Umar, who sometimes is factual but overly opinionated, is talking about. It's those symbols, those things that we just aspire to have, not knowing that they kind of don't mean anything. Right. At the end of the day. And
so with all of that, you know, you and I talked about Trick's message, and then even after that, Luke kind of chimed in, and he did a IG live video the other day about how he feel like Miami City has been so, we don't have real like camaraderie, and it kind of tied into the message, like Trick even last night at the Trick and Trina Backyard Barbecue, he was like, don't ever let nobody disrespect your city. I caught that. I was like, oh, he's probably talking about me, but it's a little late. Take Meek out of it. The message is late, like super late. Miami, since I've been here, probably since you've been here, what I've noticed is that there's dope artists that may make it out. Like, you have Ross that made it out a long time ago, and then there was Ace Hood. Then you see like certain like cliques and movements then you talk to people and you're like, no, there is no Miami sound, but then there's the Jukin sound that was, you know,
very relevant. 2006, 7, 8, 9.
Stupid. And it's like, there's so many artists here that are great, but because they're having to work within their own little teams and like going against and competitive, like it allows the city to be exposed. So people coming here that have money already, because we already know this is a money city. If you ain't got money, you're not going to be able to move around here like you can. Mm-mm. And you have people like, not saying it's Meek, but he could come here, have these big extravagant jet ski parties, all this stuff, and then y'all that live here are like, well, what the fuck is going on? But it's not his fault.
It's not by him,
right?
It's not him by himself. It's him, Zoe, Lex Promotions.
Yeah,
like these. It looked like it was a welcoming thing because a lot of people do deal like they fuck with me.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you and I see that.
Right.
The average person that don't really pay attention like that only sees Trick as the mayor of Miami, and then they see his message and they're like, oh yeah, fuck Meek Mill. But they're not paying attention that, like you said, the Lexes, the Zoes, all of them are at those parties too.
And he said one key thing that I think people did not listen to the damn interview is he said, I am an influencer for the youth right now. Which means the young people that's coming up under. There's a lot of young kids that probably know who Trick is, know their mama and daddy used to listen to Trick, but they're not listening to Trick Daddy. If they see Meek Mill doing something, of course, they're going to want to do it because he's an influencer. Doesn't mean that he was the first one to do it. Doesn't mean that he started it.
Right.
Podcast, been out for 10 years. We're not the first ones to do it. This is our thing. However, we are now becoming influencers in this city. Are we going to look crazy and look mad at other people to come up and start doing podcasts? No, we can't. It's not realistic. Like,
no, not at all.
It doesn't even make sense.
So that just plays into the narrative that, okay, yeah, there is an underlying issue. Miami is one of those cities, like, can't nobody, you know, even though Drake went to the Bay, did the motto, all that shit.
He shouted it out.
He shouted it out and he paid respect. Can't nobody come into the Bay and take E40's ambassadorship, Too Short being, you know, the person that he is. Can't nobody come there and take that regional sound and they can use it, but they can't take it and make it their own. And unfortunately, I feel like there's a lot of artists, entertainers that come to Miami, set up shop, and because they have the money, they're allowed to kind of allowed to kind of take not the sound but the landscape and the resources and kind of claim it and not be held like, yo, you got to pay respect to the people that are here.
But then you just said another key thing. The sound is not as strong as the city or the scenery. You know what I'm saying? And like if Myrtle Beach or South Carolina or somewhere over there had the same scenic I don't know, the scenery or whatever the case may be, that people would come there and rent yachts and hang out at those beaches.